Hello guys, welcome to another log of Digimon COLOR Monster Hunter edition, and for today's log we have Nargacuga. Nargacuga, am I pronouncing it correctly? Nargacuga Young, but it's a young version, not the adult version. We'll cover the adult version in the next log. So yes, today it's the Nargacuga Young, and that's pretty much it. You have the artwork, that's all I could find online, right? There's not much description about a young Nargacuga in terms of his Monster Hunter Fandom page, so that's all we have. Anyway, before we continue with today's log, just have to say if you're a fan of Digimon or raising virtual pets, you've come to the right channel because I document every Digimon that I raise and I upload at least twice a week. If you're interested in such content, go ahead and slash the like and subscribe button with Nargacuga Young and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my uploads. Yep, so that's it, Nargacuga Young. That's all we have. I wish I had more guys, but that's pretty much it. There's nothing else that we can talk about here. Interestingly, in Nargacuga Young, they actually have two kinds of colors. There's a green Nargacuga Young and a normal Nargacuga Young. So I don't know if that makes it interesting. But in this device, we only have the young Nargacuga, that's the normal one. We don't have the green young Nargacuga. There is a green Nargacuga, but that's in the adult form, not in the young form. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see the green Nargacuga in adult form soon, right? A few logs later. So that's pretty much it in terms of our young Nargacuga. Nothing much in terms of profile. Since you're done with that, let's take a closer look at its evolution conditions. And when we do that, we have to go to Himlos.com, a highly recommended website for your evolution condition needs. If you're ever stuck trying to raise a specific Digimon, go to Himlos.com, you will definitely be able to find your answer. In this case, Nargacuga Young evolves from Egg Phase 2, and there's two ways to get it. If the time that your Digimon is in is night time, meaning it's after 6 PM or before 6 AM, then Egg Phase 2 only needs to train for 4 to 7 times. Not too many times. The moment you exceed 7 and hit 8, you'll evolve into something else. So nighttime is 4 to 7. But if it's daytime, meaning 6 AM to 6 PM, then you have to train 12 to 15 times. So it's kind of strange, but you just need to make sure that you get the correct amount of training depending on what time it is. Now, if you have already trained and you made a mistake, for example, you were going for like 7 training, you accidentally exceeded and you went to 12, but you haven't reached 16, so you're like 3 hearts, but you haven't reached 4 hearts, and it's nighttime, you just need to change the time to be daytime, and that's it. You'll still be able to get Nargacuga Young. So that's a simple trick, really. If you are still within the training boundaries, but you have exceeded the one for night, you can just change the time to day, and you will be able to get Nargacuga Young. Now, interestingly, if you look at the evolution conditions for Nargacuga and green Nargacuga, we'll talk about that. Once again, it's kind of similar to our situation with the Zinogre. When it's low chem mistakes, you gotta make sure you train to a certain amount, but not too many. And then if you have high chem mistakes, similarly, you can't train too high, but at least this is consistent compared to Zinogre. So you can see there's a common theme here. To evolve to Nargacuga, training must be low. If you have 0 to 3 chem mistakes, you can have 0 to 11. The moment you have 4 plus chem mistakes, you need to have still low training, but this time only up to 23. The moment you have 4 chem mistakes and you want green Nargacuga, you have to train 24 times. So it's still consistent. You can think of it as Nargacuga adult. The normal one has a low training count, or green Nargacuga has high training count. Yeah. Interestingly, I don't know what actually happens if you have 0 to 3 chem mistakes. But okay, no, I think it makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense. It's quite consistent. At least you just have a low training count means Nargacuga, high training count means green Nargacuga. That's it. Quite simple, right? So yeah, I don't know. It's really different for Zinogre, where it's like different ranges and suddenly you're like evolving to something else and then evolving back into the main line. This is quite clear cut in that sense, right? So that's it for Nargacuga Young's evolution condition and its future evolution condition to the adult form. We will be covering that in our next log for Nargacuga adult form. And since you're done with its evolution conditions, let's take a closer look at its sprite, shall we? Alright, let's take a closer look at Nargacuga Young's sprite over here. I think it looks very, very interesting. And it really represents the artwork that we just saw in the more like a 3D model, I guess, on the Monster Hunter Fandom page. So yeah, I think it's probably based on the 3D model, right, that I've seen. So interesting sprite, and it looks quite menacing actually. You wouldn't want to mess with it. The background obviously is the background you get the moment you raise a Nargacuga Young. So we are using that to feature the entire Nargacuga evolution line. Let's give it a piece of meat and see its eating animation. Aww, looks happy to be eating. Alright, let's look at its training animation. We can't train too many times. I'm going for the normal Nargacuga evolution here. Alright, easy. It's a slash. It's a darkened slash. That's his happy animation. See his angry animation. Angry. Cool. It does look very angry. He didn't just reuse the sprite animations. I like that. Let's see. Let's see. It's saying no. Oh, that's cute. It's not so sassy. It's kind of cute, right? The way it says no, like a happy little bird. It looks like a bird dragon. All right, and honestly, I think it is kind of bird-based, considering it's no, maybe like a bat. No, the beak. The beak gives that look like it's a bird. But anyway, we'll see more of its design as we get the other evolution lines of Nargacuga here. Let's see its sleeping animation. Sleeps at 10. And that's him sleeping. It does look kind of feathery, don't you think? And his head looks kind of like an owl. I don't know. Looks a bit like Owlmon. If you don't know who's Owlmon, you can check it up. Owlmon. But yeah, it gives a bit of a bird-like feel. And that's it for Nargacuga Young. That's it for his log today. It's a sleeping animation. Thank you for watching. I have lots of playlists for Vital Bracer BE, Digimon Color, Digimon Pendulum Color, and Digivice Color Evolution as well. So please feel free to check them out. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. If you like Digimon content, I upload at least twice a week. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.